happy start of the week to each and everyone out there. This program comes up every Monday where we the forces of ignorance, unemployment, and poverty. Overcoming the forces of ignorance, unemployment, and poverty. That's our topic for today. And with us here on set, we have it's a special edition. We have Musoke Lucas Lyonga. He is a general coordinator of Excellence Union International Group. He's a modern nation builder. He's a youth coach. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning and once more, Happy New Year to all of you. We are once more here because you are there. I wish that we actually take this day of today very seriously with what is going to be teached out from this platform. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming to the program. You know you can be part of the program. There is a number on the screen. You can text us. Don't call us. You can text us and give us your reaction or ask any question you wish to ask. Going by our topic, Mr. Musoke, I want us to start with this one word. I want us to look at the word ignorance. Everybody knows what it means, but how does it really affect an individual?
Yeah, I always like to quote the teachings of the Bible. The Bible is very clear that you shall know the truth and the truth will set you free. It is only the truth that have made people to be set free, nations to be set free. And when I talk about knowing the truth, we're talking about knowing the truth and applying the truth, because you can know the truth and you are not still free if you don't apply the truth in your situation. So I wish to look at ignorance from the angle of not knowing the truth. That's the angle from which I want to look at the word ignorance. Not having knowledge of the truth. It means that you don't have knowledge of that which is going to transform your life, that which is going to free you from bondage, that which is going to make you rich, and so on. You don't have the knowledge. That is what I want to look at ignorance. I don't want to look at it from a general perspective because we'll go too far. I want to look at it at the restrictive perspective, especially for the issues of the youths. Yes, it's not having the knowledge that you require in order to make it in life. Not having that knowledge, not having that inspiration. So you are blind. You don't know the truth of your life. You don't know the truth of what is going to make you to be free and successful in life. That is the angle at which I want to look at that word ignorance. I don't want to look at it from its global perspective. It will go into so many areas. But it can be projected to other areas if you have the knowledge for this small one that we are going to see. So the central word is the truth. The truth is what sets people free. The truth is what brings solution when you apply the truth. So youths don't know the truth. For example, somebody think that if you wish to succeed, you have to travel abroad. It's a lie. Somebody think that if you stay back home, you'll be poor. It's a lie. That's not the truth. That's an illusion. It's a mentality. It's a colonial mentality that many people have. Because the colonial masters wants to always make people to look at what they have as being important. Then what you have, they make you to think that what you have is not important. Whereas they are exploiting what you have to better their lives and to better their environment. And you now are rushing to an environment where all what has been used to better that environment is coming from the environment that you were supposed to have exploited that to make your environment good and favorable. So that's the word ignorance.
All right, you just mentioned something that people, for the example you gave, that some people may travel to, thinking that traveling abroad is what will make you succeed. Is not the truth. Don't you think that this truth it depends on the individual? It might work for some and it might not work for some. Is there something that this is the truth, and if this truth is what makes everybody successful?
Yes, truth is universal. When you hear that word truth, is universal. It is the truth that sets people free. The same principles that the Japanese, the Chinese, the Jews are using in the United States are the same principles that they are using in Europe, are the same principles that they are using in Africa, are the same principles that they are using in Asia, and they are successful everywhere, including that Africa that we abandon, those same people are succeeding there because they have already known the truth and they just apply it and it works for them. Anywhere you place them, they apply the truth, it works for them. They don't bother where you place them. So far as they apply the truth, it works. That's why they are successful everywhere they go to.
Okay, now let's come now to the African youth. Tell us some of those things that they are ignorant about that is making them not to be successful.
I said they are ignorant about knowledge, the knowledge that they need. You know, I spoke about 3 things here the other day. I spoke about knowledge, I spoke about understanding, and I spoke about wisdom. The African youth are ignorant of the knowledge they need. They are ignorant of the understanding of the world system. I usually ask you the question, how does the world function? I hope we need to know how the world functions. Let me just say it before I come back to your question. Do you know how the world functions? Even many journalists may not know, but some journalists may know. Okay, this is how the world functions, and I want you to get this today so that you should understand. And when you don't align in this, it means that you will be considered as not being part of the system. Okay, now this is how the world has been classified. The world has been classified as the Western and developed countries. They are the good people. Africans and the poor, they are the bad people. So when you don't align in line with the good people as they have classified themselves, anything, that is what I'm telling you, that is how the world functions. If you don't know this, you will not be able to come out from it. I said that is how the world functions. That is the way that the colonial masters have made it. They are the good people. For example, the US counts itself as the best. The best. Then China, Russia are the bad. Then Africa are the slaves. This is how they have classified it. They will not tell you, but this is how they work. An American sees a Chinese and a Russian, or probably even the Indians, as the bad because they are opposing what they are doing. The Americans, together with Europe and all those who align with them, they are the good ones. Then Africa and other third world countries are the slaves that at any time they can dive in and tell them what to do and tell them to pass and so on. That's how they have classified it. So Africans are slaves. That's why even when you travel to the United States as a black man, as an African, they treat you in their mind as a slave. Even if they don't tell you. That's the mentality that they have towards you. Whether you make noise, so you are rushing to where people call you slave. But they will not tell you that you are a slave, but everything they do, priorities and the rest is given to them. Then you now, you are the peanut. You are those cleaning the homes, cleaning the coffins, the mortuaries, cleaning and so on. All those mean things that demeans and degrade people, they push it to Africans. Africans are slaves, and they are still slaves even when they go to the United States. Even when they go to Europe, they are slaves. They are the ones that are involved in those menial things that don't make sense. They are the same ones that go and buy second-hand clothes that have been used and dumped, and they go and buy and ship to their countries. It's Africans that do that, and other third world countries. They are slaves. Those are the practices of slaves. Those are the characteristics of slavery. You see it every day. They are the ones that buy all cars that have been used for 20 years, 15 years. It's Africans. Chinese don't buy old cars. They buy new cars, they manufacture cars. Europeans don't buy old cars, they buy new cars. Americans don't buy old cars, they buy new cars. It's Africans and some other third world countries that go for those old cars that have been used for 20 years plus. That's what they buy and come and be using. So you can see a mentality of slavery that has remained till death. That's why every young African is struggling to to travel abroad. It is the same slavery mentality, and that is how the good looks at Africans. You are slaves, whether you like it or not. You have proven to them over the years that you are. You go in the US, you go and pick food that they have dumped, or what they have removed from the storehouses and thrown. That is where Africans go and pick and come and keep it there. That's what they eat. Yes, these are realities. Yes, that mentality does not die. Even when you go to the United States, even when you go to Europe, they still have that mentality of slave. That's why the white man, the Europeans have classified them as slaves. They are, and they have proven over the years that they are slaves. The good now are those Europeans. The bad, not really that they are bad, because they are opposing the move of the Europeans, the Chinese, the Russians, the Indians, and the rest. They are the bad. That is the problem. So it took me 15 years to undo this for myself. That's why I say I am a Jewish citizen. That's a nationality that I gave to myself, because I think now the way the Jews think. I do my things the way the Jews do things. I don't do me things again like Africans. I changed long ago. I don't do things again like Africans. Africans are the ones that are wicked. They don't want to see your progress. They don't want to see you succeed. That is their mentality. But Jews work in communities. Indians work in communities. Lebanese work in communities. Chinese work in communities. And they succeed everywhere they go to. Except Africans. Except Africans. Africans are very selfish, individualistic, and want to remain selfish and greedy on their own. Even when they travel abroad, it's the same spirit. They are the ones that call immigration and report their brother. That you people see like this, my brother is here who does not have papers. Can an Indian ever do that? Can a Chinese ever do that? Can a Jew ever do that? Can they ever do that? It is the African mentality. You see it everywhere. I wish to make it clear again. You see it everywhere. It's Africans. And that is why they have not succeeded. That's why their continent is dying. Because they don't have a constructive mentality. Those are Africans. Even those back home, they scam their brothers and sisters around. It is the same African youth that have studied IT that are scamming their brothers and sisters. Do you see it? That is the slavery mentality. So that is what we're going to talk about today. Depending on the questions you ask. I want to say so many things today.
You have said
depending on the questions you ask. Thank you.
You have asked a question, or you've said something. But we are looking at ignorance now, and also African youth employment and poverty. The trend, there came a time when they said the world is a global world, which is a reality, is a global where everybody should go IT and all of that. This
youth, a global village.
Yes, a global village. They have gone into it. They are into IT. They are taking one course or the other, but they are not still succeeding, because I can believe that IT is also another way out. They are not ignorant of the fact that the world has become a global village. They are into it, but they are still not succeeding. That's just one example. They are into so many things, entrepreneurship, but they are still not succeeding. And can you say that it's because they are still ignorant?
Yes, it's because they don't have their own. Knowledge requires that you should have your own. You should do what? Have your own. You can parasite, you can struggle and manage and turn around with that which belongs to somebody for a while. But if you don't have your own, you will never succeed in the long term. Africa owns virtually nothing except natural resources. What do we have? What do we own? We have intellectuals and the rest. What have they given to Africa? What have they given to Africa? Where is our own? All the phones you are using, all the microphones, all the televisions, all the bulbs are manufactured in China. All these are manufactured elsewhere. What do you have? What do we have, we as Africans? That is the problem. And this problem remained because of the bad leaders we had after independence. That's where the problem of Africa started. Look at what this young leader Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso within 2 years. If that is the type of mentality that we had from independence, would have been one of the most developed continents in the world. I'm saying it, and it's very true. Because we have all the raw materials that others are coming and taking. Assume that we engaged from the onset at independence as Kwame Nkrumah wanted it, and other leaders wanted it to be, we would have developed our own systems and developed that which belongs to us.
With which knowledge?
With the knowledge that we would have had from the beginning. We would have developed that knowledge. Take note that knowledge have developed over time. The knowledge that Europe and the US had during the independence that when Africa was getting independent, the knowledge was still far back. The knowledge has advanced because of a lot of research and development. And that is what we would have engaged in from the word go. Research and development. That's what they engaged in. And over the years, it has taken them a lot of time to be where they are today. We too would have grown gradually at that time, and today we would have been somewhere. That is the issue. But we had very bad, wicked, and corrupt leaders who sold Africa for their personal gain and belly. And Africa is suffering today because of these bad leaders that took over Africa after independence. And they have sold this continent, and this continent is suffering because of these bad leaders that had no vision for their continent. All nations that have developed is because they had leaders that had a vision for the development of those nations.
So in other words, we are saying that the knowledge that most of our youth get, especially in schools, in the higher institutions, like recently UP just graduated housings,
yes,
is not enough.
That one, they don't even have knowledge. What they graduated like that, they even got expired 2,000 years. They are 2,000 years behind time. All those graduates that we saw being released like that, those are nuisance that are coming out to create problems. I said they are nuisance. For the past 10 years, nuisance are released. Nuisance. They are not graduates. I told you that a graduate is somebody that have read at least 156 books before you leave the 4 walls. When you leave the 4 walls with 1% of what you need to succeed, you are a nuisance because you think that you know, but you don't know anything. You think that you don't have anything. So you become a nuisance because you think that you know, you think that you have no way. Take a small Jew of just 12 years. He beats all those graduates 1 million times because of what he has gathered and what he knows. He can produce, he can do everything, he can solve problems. But those guys that you release like that, put them in front of one small problem, don't look left and right, don't give you the solution because of the bad educational system. Very bad, very bad. Long ago outdated. I mean, long ago, it is of no use again. The educational system we have now is of no use. It produces nothing. It instead produces nuisance who come out and think that they know, whereas you don't know anything. Put them in front of a problem and so that will solve the problem. That way you know that they don't know anything. Because we have refused to change the educational system and to give people that which they need. I know of people now who have primary schools, primary schools, nursery schools that they teach children business from nursery school. By the time you finish primary school, you own a business already. They work with you and make sure that you bill it while you are going to school. The graduates that have been released are the nuisance. That's why I asked myself, many of the invitations I received, I did not go for any, because what am I celebrating?
You
Am I celebrating people?
success.
Let me explain something to you. We are talking to you so that they should learn. You don't celebrate graduation. You celebrate a job or a business or an investment. You don't celebrate graduation. What is graduation? It's nothing. Parents don't even have money. Then they go again and spend the small money that they have. Cook food, people come and eat. Then you go now, you go to home, you sit. In the morning, you get up, you stay at that place. I need credit. Yes! Whereas you are done with that, people use that small 500,000 that he has put in you and start you a small thing that you can even manage your life. He takes it, they have ground it. All of them are sitting at home now and looking at themselves. We need to come out from foolishness. The reason why some of these things, graduation and the rest, are put, let me tell you the reason why. The main reason why is because institutions want to project themselves and make themselves known to the public. Those things have financial incidences that have been budgeted. So authorities want to consume the budget because it has been budgeted. It does not help the student even one bit. I want to make this point very clear. Am I against graduation? No. But I want to say that it does not add any value to any student. Let us be very frank. Are we saying that they should not hold graduation? No. We are not saying they should not. It is for the interest of the institution. It's not for the interest of the students. Let me be very clear here. Because it does not add any value. You are already a graduate. You just need to look how you can live your life and go your way. There are many students that before that stuff held, they are already in Europe. They are already in Canada. They are already in the United States. So, have they lost? Have they lost? No. So that ceremony is not for any value addition to those students. They are being used for budgets to be ground. People have to consume budget that have been budgeted. So they use them. If they organize that thing there and nobody shows up for the past 2 years, they'll stop it. I said nobody shows up, they'll stop those things. It does not add any value to any student's life. Yes, that's the truth. But are we saying that they should not do it? No. That's how they have budgeted, they have made it to be.
So these are some of the things that they use to ignore.
The institutions use it and advertise. That's why they call the media to come and talk, to advertise them. But it doesn't add the value on those students. Instead, those students are still spending money again to rent robes. Money which they could have used data for 1 month and do research. They're using it not to go and rent a robe and wear. You snap. Then what? Then what? That's why I said that. Sorry, Africans, we should learn to know what adds value and what does not add value, and let us not be used like guinea pigs by people who want to consume budgets. It is their interests. It is the people who are organizing it. They are the ones that are benefiting from it. It is not the student. So you don't even need to pass there if you are wise. Be doing your own things that will build your life. But don't go and waste time. Am I saying that people should not attend graduation? No. But I'm just saying that we have gone past the stage where we should continually be deceived by things. These are things that add no value. Go for things that add value and build your life and add it to your life. That 500,000 funds that your parents cost, you can take that 500,000 funds and go and do an IT course that costs 300,000 for 3 to 6 months, and you are better valued at that time than when you left the university. That is the wisdom. Tell your father, Dad, please, I know you want to spend 500,000. Give me that money. I want to go and do an IT course, a database course, a cybersecurity course, a DevOps course that is going to add value to what I've got you from the university. That is how you build your life. Don't go and build your life again and stay in deception. That's why I said I made the first graduation that I made. I will never make anything concrete. Even if I graduate with anything now, I will sit in my house quietly and drink my tutor and don't go anywhere. I will not be used as a guinea pig.
All right, we have so many of these graduates. Already shows that there is a problem, because we are talking. Part of our discussion today is talking on how to overcome unemployment, how to overcome poverty. We already know that the educational system, some of them go to school, but they study. Like, so I was just discussing with my colleague before you even came in, like some of these courses that people go to read, what do they intend to come and do with them after graduation? Because some of them, if you look at our context, it doesn't pay, it doesn't have any place in our Cameroon context. So we have so many of these set of persons out there who are graduated, the ones who graduated 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. What should they do now?
I said, when you go to the university like that, it's just a basis for an eye opener on how you can build your life. After you leave the university, you face the world and you start building your life. You have had exposure. You have had up to about 1% of what you need. You still have 99% to work on your own. That's why I said, while going to school, you can be working on the 99% while going to school. That's why I talk about reading at least 156 books. At least. You would have gained at least a 10% of what you need to succeed in life. While the school gives you 1%, you have already gathered 9% by reading relevant books within those 3 years of your degree. Assume that some of you that studied journalism engaged within those 3 years to come into key successful journalists, communication experts, media experts, and how they build their business to where they are today within those 3 years. Do you think that when you finish the university, you even think to go and work somewhere? The knowledge you have will compel you to start something. We are not saying that to go and work somewhere is bad, but we are saying that when you have knowledge, the way you think differs. The way you do your things is different. The way you reason is different. The way you approach life is different. I told that I refused traveling abroad despite the numerous opportunities that I had. It's because I already had knowledge that is not necessary. I can build my life here. So that graduation is just a way to say, okay, now you now have the basic knowledge, you have been exposed, go and build your life. That's the meaning. If you go and sit down and think that you start sending applications, you are not yet qualified to even work anywhere. You are only qualified to start building your life. Building your life start after graduation, even after masters, even after PhD. That's when you start building your life with the real things of life, which are not taught in the 4 walls of the classroom. That's why I say, than to waste 3 years, burn part of that 3 years studying these things that you need.
Okay, let me take on this reaction. This one says, greetings, Hi TV, enjoying the conversation, but there's one thing that we must not forget. Going to school and reading books and gathering knowledge is very important and essential in humanity. But there is one key issue that is a necessity, and if it is not there, it will be difficult for things to move forward. It will be difficult for your dreams to be materialized. That is finance, and I've not heard anything about it. Thank you very much for your reaction.
Now, you say you have not heard anything about finance.
For it to be materialized,
you don't need finance for anything to materialize. You don't need it. Finance is important, but building a basic life today with the availability of the internet by the time you finish, by the time you go through 3 years in a university. The problem is that we miss doing what we are supposed to do when we are in the university within 3 years. When you are studying within 3 years, I'm not just talking about reading books, I'm talking about studying and building capacities that are free online. They are free online. Alongside studying for your degree, you are building capacity and skills that are required without you paying money. They are online. By so doing, within 3 years, you are an expert and you can do a lot of online transaction, business, traveling and the rest. And you have knowledge of how to make money, how to write projects that can be sponsored, and so on. These are small skills that within these 3 years